Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à ma chaîne YouTube. Merci d'être ici et bon visionnage. Today on my workbench I have Matthew's Whitfield brand Pellet Stove Controller. This is an Advantage 2-T controller, an older model with a silver faceplate. Matthew sent it to me because he was having a problem with it where all of the accessories were driving all the time. After discussing that with him, I agreed he could send it to me. I gave him my contact information and I received it the day before yesterday. Last night I had a look at it and I think I fixed the problems with it. It's been running through the night and all of today without any issues. So I'm ready to do final tests before I return it to Matthew. As you can see, Matthew's controller is connected to my test system. My test system is made up of a few items. Firstly is a faceplate which holds an auger motor at the rear. The shaft from the auger motor comes out the front and I have an X marks the spot decal on it. So when the controller is calling for the auger to drive, you'll hear it in the video, you'll see the X marks the spot decal, and you'll see the light at the back here. About those lights, I have 4 of them and they simulate the different functions of your pellet stove. The first one simulates the igniter. This controller will not turn on the igniter light bulb. It does not have an igniter system on it. The next one is the combustion or the firebox fan. In yellow we have the auger motor, and finally in red at the far end we have the convection or room fan. Those 3 lights will come on during testing. So as I mentioned, I have the controller connected to my system. I can go ahead and turn it on, and when I do, not too much happens, right? But I need to press the start button, and when I do, things will happen then. We have 3 lights that have come on. First we had a quick burst of the auger motor. We also had the combustion fan that's come on, and we have the convection room fan. I'm on low on all the settings here, so we just get short bursts of the auger motor, but if I increase the heat output, we'll see the intensity of the combustion fan go up a little bit. Notice very small changes in intensity. It's hard to see, might not be visible in the video, especially when the other lights are on, but I can switch it up and down, so that is functioning correctly. If I'm in low, we have a longer time between bursts of auger drive. Let's wait for one to happen again. There's a long burst, but a long time in between them. And if I go up to 5, which is the high heat output, we'll notice that we have the same length of auger drive, but it happens more often. See that? Way more often. You see the light flashing, you hear the auger motor spinning, and you see the X marks the spot spinning. There's also a light here that comes on whenever the auger is called to drive. You see how that's happening? That's happening quite quickly. So a lot of pellets would be fed into the fire pit and the fire pit would roar. We'd have a nice hot fire and the room would heat up quite quickly. So let me turn that back down. The last thing I want to check is the blower speed. That's the room blower speed, the one in red over here. And when I increase that to max, we see the intensity of the light bulb change. Notice how that's functioning? That is functioning correctly. Low, high, low, high. So everything on this controller faceplate is working correctly. The start button worked, the on-off button worked, the heat output worked, the blower speed worked. I did also check the automatic off system and it worked correctly, so when I turn it off here, the room fan and the combustion fan will stay on for about 15-20 minutes, but then they'll eventually shut off. That's part of the safety system to make sure that any fire that's residual in the fire pit burns out and that all the exhaust is pushed out, as well all the heat of the system is pushed into the room so that it doesn't overheat on its own. So I'm going to shut this off. Matthew, I want to thank you very much for sending your Whitfield controller to me for repairs. I appreciate that very much. Should you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me. Of course, you have my contact information. In the meantime, for all you other viewers, if you have a Whitfield like this, a Quadrifire USSC or Breckwell Pellet Stove Controller, and you have questions about it or you need it serviced, please feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to speak to you about that. You'll find my contact information in the video description just below this video. In the meantime, I do hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.